Grogu and the healer of Harkonn V. The winds of Harkonn V howled across the blood-red canyons like ancient ghosts arguing over history. Din kept the ship low as they approached the last known coordinates of a secret healer, one of the final Jedi, who specialized not in fighting, but in restoring life. Grogu stood on the dashboard, ears tilted forward, sensing something faint and warm beneath the storm's roar. Din glanced at him. If this healer taught anything to you, Jedi, let's hope it's how to avoid getting shot. They landed near the ruins of an old monastery, carved straight into the canyon wall, its archways glowing faintly with cracked blue runes. The place once radiated peace, but now it pulsed with something darker, fear, maybe, or the residue of someone being chased for too long. Grogu hopped down from the ship, hand lifted as if trying to catch a memory still floating in the air. Din followed close, blaster ready, because anything labeled Jedi ruins usually meant someone unfriendly wanted it more. They moved deeper into the monastery, past broken healing chambers and dried fountains that had once used the Force to cleanse wounds. Grogu stepped onto a round stone platform etched with spirals. At his touch, the lines lit up. Glowing soft green Jedi healing energy activating like it had been waiting for hands just his size. Din looked around. Careful, kid. Let's not wake anything that bites. But Grogu wasn't afraid. He was listening. Suddenly, a soft whisper crossed the chamber. Not in words but in emotion, sadness, exhaustion, and a fading spark. Grogu hurried toward the sound, slipping through a shattered door into a small inner garden long since buried in dust. At the center lay a hooded figure slumped against a broken column, robes torn, hands trembling with the final remnants of power. Grogu approached quietly, placing a small hand on the Jedi's knee. The figure opened clouded eyes. A youngling, alive. Din rushed after him, lowering his blaster when he saw the wounded Jedi leaning helplessly against the stone. The healer smiled faintly, recognizing Grogu's presence as if seeing an echo of better days. I thought all hope was gone, they whispered. The Sith hunters took everything. My students, my sanctuary. Grogu stepped closer, touching the healer's wrist, gently comforting, not fearful. Din felt the air shift. A sudden explosion shook the entrance of the temple. Sith hunters had arrived. Their boots thundered through the corridor, their scanners screaming with a detection of a Force signature. Din moved into a defensive stance, pulling Grogu behind him. Stay back, he said. This is what I do. But Grogu didn't move backward. He stepped beside Din, tiny hand lifting not to strike, but to shield. The hunters rushed in with red visor glow cutting through the dust. When they fired, Grogu closed his eyes and raised his hand slightly. A soft green wave spread out like a warm gust, bending the blaster bolts away not violently, but gently redirecting them into the stone walls where they fizzled harmlessly. It wasn't aggression, it was protection. The hunters hesitated, confused by the unusual Force response. Din took the opening, stunning the first attacker with precision that came from years of living in chaos. The others retreated behind broken pillars, rattled by Grogu's unexpected power. But Grogu wasn't done. He walked forward slowly, releasing a faint green aura healing energy extending like a pulse of calm through the room. The hunters' aggression faltered, their anger thinned. Fear drained from their bodies like water escaping cracked stone. One dropped his weapon entirely, overwhelmed by sudden peace that felt alien and ancient. The remaining hunters fled, terrified not of violence, but of serenity they could not comprehend. Din holstered his blaster. Never seen a fight end with calm. Grogu turned to the wounded healer, who watched him with awe. The gift, the Jedi whispered, voice trembling, still lives in you. Grogu placed both hands on the healer's chest, letting the green light flow from him into the fading spark. Slowly, the healer's breathing steadied. Their eyes brightened, the exhaustion receding like shadows chased by the rising sun. You didn't come to learn, they said, voice stronger now. You came to give. Din approached and helped the healer to their feet. He does that a lot, Din muttered, usually with snacks. But this is better. The healer rested a gentle hand on Grogu's head. Your path will not be one of battle, little one. You are a mender, a restorer. The galaxy needs that more than it knows. Grogu cooed softly, leaning into the touch as they left the restored chamber. The ruined runes along the walls glowed faintly once more, not because of power returning, but because hope had stepped inside again. Din carried Grogu out into the canyon light. The wind's quieter now. Not bad for your first healer mission, he said. Grogu smiled, lifting his hand to the wind end for the first time. The storm felt gentle,